Good evening. The Niue Broadcasting Corporation has a brand new satellite dish courtesy of the Pacific Corporation Foundation funded by TVNZ and the New Zealand Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. The 4.5-metre diameter dish is to replace the old satellite dish, and although it is smaller in size compared to the old dish, it is of a better quality, and if it is well maintained, should last 10 years. The brand new dish is built to operate in 106 km per hour wind gusts and can withstand or survive the 216 km per hour winds, something Mr. Clark from New Zealand said they took into consideration when they ordered the new dish. David Clark of the YCOM Solution Limited and subcontracted to the Pacific Corporation Foundation to install and fine-tune the new dish was very impressed with how they were able to work with local counterparts within a very short time frame to complete the adjustments and establish the link. And whilst the new satellite dish was a successful installation, the TV Niue microwave link in Makefu was inoperable for a week and a half, causing the non-transmission of TV Niue broadcasting to the northern side of the island and villages situated further away from the main station in Fonuakula. However, as of today, the television link at Makefu is transmitting after technicians from BCN and Telecoms completed the repairs. The Office of the New Zealand High Commission has announced it will assist to identify graves belonging to the Niuean soldiers who went to the First World War. The announcement was made during the Niue Return Services Association's wrap-up of the October commemorations held at Arlena's restaurants 2 weeks ago. His Excellency explained in detail that contrary to what was announced on radio midday Monday following the dinner at Arlena's restaurant, that his office will assist in locating, identifying and marking the grave sites onto a global positioning systems so it can be recorded for future generations so that the descendants could locate where their forefathers are buried. And while some are buried in Europe and some had sea burials, His Excellency would like to make the information accessible to families. It is important that he hoped the locals would take note of and be proud of Niue's participation towards world peace 100 years ago.
And we're looking for an opportunity to work alongside the RSA and the government of Niue to do something different for 1916, to commemorate it in some particular way. And one of the things I thought that perhaps we could work together on, and I've yet to socialise this wider, is to identify the whereabouts of all of the graves. Now, I'm pretty certain that Taonga Niue and the great work that Moira has been doing there will be able to actually say where the graves are. But I think there needs to be some work done to actually mark them with GPS coordinates and actually record for posterity so that the families know where these graves are and will always be able to find that location electronically. It's not about the High Commission repairing graves or anything like that. It's more about making sure that that information is well recorded and available for people to use, particularly ancestors from here on in.
His Excellency also would like to make it clear to all descendants of those who went to war that the idea is to locate, identify and mark where the graves are, not to locate and repair them. The responsibility of repairs and restoration of the grave sites will be up to the families and the Niue Return Services Association. The Office of the New Zealand High Commissioner to Niue has once again declared its support not only for Niue's recent commemoration of the 100 years since the First World War broke out in Europe, but also the English speech, writing and speaking skills of the Niue High School students for the 2016 academic year. The winner of this speech competition will travel with a contingent of Niueans who will attend the commemorations in France, accompanied by a French-speaking personnel from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in New Zealand. His Excellency Ross Ardern announced the exciting news at the dinner at Arlena's restaurant a couple of weeks ago and elaborated more on it at his office when interviewed by the TV news crew the following week.
The support of the government of Niue, the WW100 commemorations went very well. There was a lot of work done by the RSA with support from the government. I think that the events that were held on the 13th of October were a resounding success. I'm very pleased the way both of the memorials have turned out, and they'll be there for an eternity. Look, it was opportune for us to be able to finish off the year with the events. Last Saturday I was able to spend a few minutes with the RSA. I'm very happy to be able to announce that last year we were able to sponsor a person from the high school and a chaperone to go to New Zealand to participate in the Anzac commemorations.
This trip to France is a follow-up to the similar concept where a winner for this year's speech competition was rewarded with a trip to New Zealand along with other winners from other island nations. The speech competition is only for students 16 years and up, simply because of the insurance purposes involved with travelling. The Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries launched a Healthy Conscious project 2 weeks ago at one of the local farms, a joint initiative with the Department of Education and Health, aimed at providing the locals with a healthy diet of local produce to combat the growing trend of consuming imported food, especially those with high sugar contents.
Our department is also working with other departments such as the Department of Health and the Department of Education. Next year will be the start of the implementation of the project and its activities, and one of the first things that will be done is the review of the dietary-based guidelines. And I understand that there's a regional one, and we'll be carrying that out in February. We hope to look at the different areas, but our focus will try and focus on the schools, because at the moment we see that obesity is still a problem. We have a lot of non-communicable diseases as well, and I think that's due to a lot of consumption of imported food, which is high in sugar and fat. And one of the outcomes of this project is to look at how we can promote not only the consumption, but also to encourage the younger people to grow a lot of our local food and eat the local food.
While some of those imported bananas failed to blossom, the Department of Agriculture hopes that the local farmers will be able to nurture the rest and distribute them. The International Year of the Soil for Niue could be the beginning of what will be a conscious effort to live a healthy lifestyle on Niue. To end the news bulletin for tonight, Tuapa Ohomotu commemorated 30 years since the establishment of the village church building Maunga ko Olive on Saturday as a part of a 3-day event with plenty of supporting and encouraging messages from different speakers of the day, including the government. The key message was to commend the village for the milestone it has reached and the determination to commemorate the establishment of the church every 10 years. His Excellency Ross Ardern expressed support from the New Zealand Office for Communities and their Development and congratulated the village by expressing he was pleased with Tuapa being a forward-thinking village. Honourable Premier Toketalangi spoke of the government's involvement with community projects to build a robust economy through a vibrant and engaging community. The elder of the village and Member of Parliament, Fisa Pinia, paid homage to the ancestors and village members who helped to build the church in 1985. He reflected on the achievements to establish a building that has as much importance to the ancestors of the village and the future generations. Mr. Bihingia also expressed much gratitude to the government of Niue for the funding to assist the developments in the church and the community, and he expressed acknowledgements also to the New Zealand High Commission Office for its continuing support of the Tuapa community. He also conveyed gratitude to the Tuapa descendants who represented those in New Zealand on the day, as well as families who were unable to attend the event. Guests were also invited to join the second day of commemoration with the church service on Sunday. After the speeches, the invited guests joined the village with a feast to commemorate the event before the village entertained the visitors. The final sports event for the commemoration finished yesterday, the 21st of December, which is the official day in 1985 that the church building was opened. That's our news bulletin for tonight. Good evening.